All right, so the game against Michigan, the thing that kind of two things stand out. One, the defense, the transition defense with 4 seconds left to let Donaldson go down the court in 3.25 seconds and not make him turn once. Bad deal. But also the rebounding. Now, it's rare that you're going to play a team with 2 7-footers like Michigan's got, but they obviously killed Maryland on the boards. But kind of your thoughts on how that went down in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, well, we got hammered on the boards all night that night, and that was disappointing because you got 2 really good big men yourself, with the Terps.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it was just, from the opening onset, the ball just was caroming strangely off the rim. They shot a lot of threes, and those rebounds went kind of squirrely. But again, rebounding is an effort-based thing, and we just didn't get it done. Now, it was a tremendous comeback to get back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're down 15 with like 16 to play. You take the lead. In fact, I think the Terps went up 3 a couple of times.
Yeah.
That last play, there were probably 2 or 3 breakdowns on it. First of all, you can't let a guy catch it full speed like that. I mean, that's sort of America's play. We saw Tyus Edney do it years ago for UCLA. We've seen that before. And the idea is you have to make him zig or zag once or twice so that instead of getting to the rim, he's shooting shooting a bomb somewhere, a 20-footer, 25-footer. But you got 2 big guys back there around the basket, too, and there really wasn't a contest on the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe they thought the other one was going for it, both Queen and Reese. I have no idea. But, looking at the video, it's painful. Just there are 2 or 3 breakdowns defensively that cost you the game.
What did K-Dub say after the game about the last play?
He said something last night, which I feel is pain. He said, "I would rather have gotten beat by 20."
Uh-huh.
This team has lost 8 games by a grand total of 28 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the bomb by Michigan State, Ohio State hit a bank shot from 25 feet when the guy was completely blanketed to win the game. I mean, it's been that kind of year. But it's a good basketball team, and this year one of the things that we've seen is that every time they've lost in those brutal fashion, they've reeled off 4 or 5 straight wins right afterwards. So this would be a good time for 4 or 5 straight wins.
I like the fact that this game doesn't start at it's a Friday game, correct? It's a Friday afternoon game, so it doesn't start at 10 o'clock out there on the West Coast. It's a 4:35 tip playing Grand Canyon. We kind of talked about Canyon earlier. Bryce Drew's been there. I believe this is year 4. He's been to the tournament 3 times. He's got his top 3 players are all seniors, and I think they were all on last year's team. They've got some pretty good size, too. They got a 6'10 kid. They've got a 6'8 kid who's pretty heavy. They're scoring about 80 a game. I'm not sure how good their 3-point shooting team is, or percentages are, but they're scoring a bunch of points. Just kind of give me your thoughts on Grand Canyon so far in the 4-13 matchup.
Yeah, if you're playing for Bryce Drew, I think you're going to shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah.
He was pretty prolific himself. Their numbers are down from the 3-point line, to your point. But I do know this. I know that in talking with all the NBA guys that speak to, on a regular basis, they've all made the trip to Grand Canyon. They've got some NBA level, possibilities out there. So they're going to be talented. The issue really becomes dealing with the travel and all the things that go along with that. I suspect that we're going to be fine. But Grand Canyon themselves, you mentioned it. They're seniors. There are a lot of guys playing their last game, and Maryland's got some of those as well. Julian Reese, and Lord knows, I think we will have seen the last of Derek Queen, after this tournament. It's always fun. Nobody has to beat anybody 4 out of 7, right?
Yep.
You got to be better that day. So I'm sure the Terps will be prepared to play that game.
We're joined by Chris Knoche, Terps color analyst on the Rude Guest Hotline. So handicap the West region as a whole. You got Florida as the top seed. St. John's comes in at number 2. The Terps are 4. Texas Tech is 3. And I was a little surprised that Kansas, when's the last time Kansas was a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament? They're taking on Arkansas in that 7-10 matchup. So a lot of depth there in the West.
Yeah, it's funny. Cakes when the drawing pairings came out. I remember one time I was talking. I hate to drop names, but I was talking to Jim Nantz about the way the field is put together, and I mentioned the fact that CBS has to have a hand in some of this, right? Because there's some TV matchups that you just cannot believe. Bill Self against John Calipari in the first round. Now, when I said it to Nantz, he completely scoffed. He was appalled that I brought it up. He's like, no, come on. We have nothing to do with the TV matchups. Yeah, okay, right. Well, that is a matchup made for TV right there. And I love St. John's the way they're playing. I think Florida is the best team in the country right now. They're just outstanding. And if chalk holds, that's who Maryland would be seeing in San Francisco in the round of 16. But, yeah, I think it's the best region. I think the really good top 4 teams. And I'd love to see it go chalk in the first 2 rounds so there's all 4 of those, the top 4 seeds get to San Francisco.